Just wait and click it then.
Yeah.
All right.
Check. I can't hear myself. No. Check. 1 2 1 2.
No, I can't hear him very well either.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't.
Miles, can you hear me?
No.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
It should be these four up here. It should be the headsets, I think. Say something, Matt. Say something.
Check 1 2.
Check. I can hear myself better now. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
All right. Good deal.
Guys, we got less than a minute, okay? Anybody that's got a hoodie on gets 5 blockout bricks tomorrow. Kareem.
Ooh.
Thank you, sir. All right, guys, 10 seconds. Stop talking. Cheer your teammates on when they come up.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Davidson-Davie Community College Coaches Show, the Matt Ridge Coaches Show. I'm Miles Poole, and we've got a great show for you tonight here at Brinkley Gym. Got a good crowd on hand tonight as well, which is fantastic to see. Got a lot to talk about tonight, Coach. Catch Storm Nation up on all that's happened since our last Coaches Show, and that was early December. So a lot of stuff has gone on since that time. You're back in the seat tonight, which is nice to see. Not that Coach Allen didn't do a great job, but it's always great to chat with you. We got Evan Ingram and Tavion Tangoria as our player interviews this evening, so we're looking forward to that. And a reminder that you can interact with the players and the coach on our Facebook and YouTube live feed. We'll be following that for you, so feel free to chime in. So welcome, Coach.
Well, thank you, Miles. It's been an incredible year. You know, we started off a little rocky, what our fans are not used to. But since that night we were 3-4, this team has really, really done a much better job of buying into the process, which is not easy in the way we prepare every single day, not just what we do inside of practice, but outside of practice. And we've gotten a lot better. Obviously, getting Dre eligible and him playing has been a big part of that run. But I think the other 14 players have really, really gotten a lot more cohesive and a lot more chemistry, and they're playing together. And last night was a great example of that. We had 7 guys in double figures and 2 more with 8, so almost 9 players in double figures last night.
I mean, like you said, I think a different team now than what we saw in early December. I mean, was there a specific point in time where you saw the turn, or did it just happen gradually over time?
Yeah, it's just been a gradual thing. But I do think before Christmas break, we won a couple games. That Lewisburg win on the road by 1 point was a gutty win. That we overcame a team that hit a ton of threes in their own gym, and so a lot of those threes were well defended. So that night I told Coach Allen, I said, we got a chance. And this group came back from Christmas and has had an incredible run. I couldn't be prouder of these guys to my right. And we're going to keep getting better, and we haven't peaked yet, so our best basketball's ahead.
Well, the streak that we're talking about, you've had some really solid wins over some really good competition. You know, ending 2025, you had that number 11 nationally ranked Sandhills come in here, and you defeated them, and then on the road, like you said, that close game with Lewisburg. But let's talk a little bit about Sandhills. So the Storm, you guys jumped out to big lead at half, 50-28. And I think, if I'm right, Sandhills never led at all in this contest. Talk about the quick start in this game and your ability to maintain that first half lead, pulling away for that 99-71 victory.
Well, the way we defend is what we put a lot of pride and work into in practice. And, you know, to hold them to 28 points in the first half was remarkable. You know, I told Coach Allen, Sandhills likes to play fast like us. They were averaging right around 100 points a game, and holding them to 28 points with our style play and their style play, both teams playing fast, is pretty incredible because there's so many possessions when you play a team like that because both teams are wanting to play fast. But offensively, I thought our guys did a great job of getting the ball inside out. We think layups and threes in that order. Tavion finished with 21. Nigel finished with 20. Tavion finished with 20 and Nigel with 21. So 2 of our post players, even though Nigel's kind of a Swiss Army knife, he can play a little bit everywhere. 41 points, 24 rebounds with those 2 players. Tavion had 10. Nigel had 14. We had 5 players in double figures that game. So really proud of our effort on both sides of the ball, but especially defensively, because we love it when our best offense is our defense.
Well, your defense, let's talk about the defense. Your three-point defense in that game was outstanding. I think Sandhills 1 of 14, 7% from beyond the arc. What were you able to do defensively, or what did you guys do to shut them out from range?
Something this team's really matured for the most part is taking scouting report, taking film, taking Kevin Egan's stats, and applying it to game day, whether it be closing out hard on specific shooters, or whether it be understanding, okay, this team's struggling against a zone, even though Coach Ridge hates zone, we're going to play a little bit of zone tonight, and we're going to not be just playing zone, we're going to be darn good at it. So, you know, we try to really use a lot of information, not just film and stats and scout report, to help us make decisions on who we're going to defend and how we're going to defend them. And then, of course, these guys got to be able to be coachable and take that information and apply it to the game, and that's exactly what they did against Sandhills.
Well, before the Christmas holiday break, you go on the road, you face that Lewisburg team, the Hurricanes, a very important conference matchup. Unlike the Sandhill game, this was a nail-biter. You look at 17 lead changes, I think 9 ties in the game, and it ended up in a 1-point win for you guys, 90-89. What were the keys for you to pull out a win in that close contest?
We didn't play our best that night, but we played good enough to come out with a big, huge road conference win. Lewisburg that night finished, I believe, 11 of 28, which is right around 40% from the three-point line. They're one of the better shooting teams in our league, and we knew that going into the game. They're playing in their own court. They haven't, knock on wood, beat us in 7 years, and so we've had a lot of close games with them. So I knew going into that game, they thought that would probably be a high probability they have a chance. With us having the record we had at that time, we didn't have Dre at the time, and we overcame a team that was really hot on the road in a hostile environment. So down the stretch, we had some huge stops. The last possession of the game, Jay Wilk, Dane, all those guys that were in the game, they were playing incredible, not just on the ball but off the ball, and they didn't end up getting a good look. They took a contested 25-footer. The possession before that, we were down 1, and we ran a little ball screen action for Jay Wilk and Tavion, and Jay Wilk did exactly what he was coached to do. Lewisburg had been trapping ball screens all night, so I told Jay Wilk when Lewisburg was shooting free throws, I said, we're going to run this play, and they might trap you, so be ready to hit Tavion on the roll, and he made the perfect pass, and Tavion got a layup.
So you guys have a couple of weeks off, and then you kick off the new year with the New Year's Classic. I love this Classic. And this year we had some great competition. You had Division I East Georgia coming in, and then a couple of D2 teams, Prince George, who we hadn't seen before here, and then the number 20th ranked Henry Ford Hawks came in from out of state to participate. The first game for you guys was Prince George, and they came in. They were 11-2. But their 2 losses were outside of NJCAA competition, so they had no losses against NJCAA opponents. You won that one, 99-75, and I thought that game was physical, probably one of the most physical ones I've seen in here, 73 free throw attempts between the 2 teams. Other than the free throws, and you guys were 78% for the game, 26 of 33, what were some of the other keys to beating the Owls?
Well, before I get into that, I want to say these 2 games were a start of an incredible run of not just 2 games at home, but as you're getting ready to go over, incredible run of tough road games. And so I told my wife going into it, I said, I really hope we play well in these 2 games, because after that we got a gauntlet of unbelievably tough road games. So, we did play well both games, and we won both games. And I could just sense throughout the game, and especially right afterwards, the confidence of these guys, am I right, just kept going up higher and higher, not just collectively but individually. And we beat 2 really good teams, first of which was Prince George. They were ranked at the time, 11-2, I believe, coming into the game. As you said, they're extremely physical, well coached. They've been in the national poll several years now in a row, so I knew coming into the game it was going to be a big challenge. But I was really proud that we out-rebounded them 41-30. And the biggest reason we won the game, in my opinion, reflecting on it, was we shot the absolute dog mess out. I mean, we shot 47% from the three-point line. Jay Wilk was, I believe, 5 of 8 from the 3. Dane was 2 of 4. So we shot the ball really well. And Roy Williams always said when the ball goes in, everything looks a lot easier, right? So, and then, of course, the next night, big-time challenge in Henry Ford.
Henry Ford, I just want to talk about this matchup a little bit because it is a great one to watch. And it's probably been, from a nationally ranked opponent, nationally ranked opponents, probably the most competitive series. It's been a short series. But let me walk you back through. So 2021, 2022, you guys won 66-63, right, in the national quarterfinals.
Correct. Elite Eight.
And then 22-23, I thought this was the best game of the national tournament. You guys beat them again 110-102 in double overtime, and that was for the fifth-place game. Then let's fast forward to next year. You got a 92-91 storm win on this court out here. DJ Suggs with that three-point shot at the buzzer. I think he hit a shot to send it to overtime, but he also made the three-point shot at the buzzer to win that one. And then 2024, 96-92, you guys win. So close ball games. This year you built a 10-point halftime lead, and you were able to hold off every run that they made. 89-79, you guys win. Talk about this win, but talk about this series.
Well, first of all, DJ Suggs is somewhere tonight talking about those shots.
He is. He should be.
Yeah. He's still talking about that. But these guys to my right really competed, especially in the second half against Henry Ford. We made a ton of shots. Obviously, Dre played at an extremely high level offensively. But what I was most proud of is how we defended during that run. I mean, there was a 6 or 7 minute stretch. Yes, we were making shots, but Henry Ford was not getting the good looks. And so our toughness and our togetherness defensively, our rotations, that's the thing that I'm most proud of, because you're not going to shoot the ball well every night, but how do you consistently win? You defend and you rebound. You don't turn the basketball over. Those are the 3 things that every championship team does at a high level. And that night, during that 7-8 minutes when we went on that huge run against Henry Ford, which was the difference in the game, in my opinion, these guys were incredibly defensively. I mean, and then offensively, Dre was amazing. I think he finished with 25 against Henry Ford, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
He had 17 the night before. So, he's a scoring point guard that's hard to guard because he's so quick and shifty, but he is tough as nails. So, obviously getting him eligible was a big piece of the puzzle.
Well, this is the second year in a row we've had the Classic on New Year's. Do you plan on keeping it there or maybe moving it back to Thanksgiving at where it was before?
We're considering that. That's to be determined at this point. But those are discussions we're going to continue to have, and at some point this spring make a final decision.
You think Henry Ford will come back down?
So I asked Coach when he was here, and he said if you do it on these certain dates, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
So, we're having those conversations, not just with him but other coaches as well.
All right. Well, you guys didn't get a lot of rest after those two back-to-back games. You went right back on the road for a long stretch. I mean, Monday you were on the road at Gaston, and Gaston was undefeated. I mean, they were 13-0 when you went in there, and they're a D1 school.
Yeah.
What challenges did the Rhinos pose for you guys as you came off those back-to-back tourney wins?
Well, first of all, their head coach is a former Division I NCAA coach for many, many years. He was at UNC Charlotte as an assistant. He ended up going to UNC Wilmington. The head coach got let go, and he became the head coach at UNC Wilmington. In the last 10 or 12 years, he's been at Coastal Carolina as the associate head coach. So he's bounced around a lot of high-level Division I programs, and so he's been with some really big-time minds in terms of this game. And so they're well coached. He's got, in my opinion, the best, most talent of any team will play all year on paper. So I knew going into that game after playing 2 tough games in our Classic, scheduling that on Monday because it had to be postponed because of our volleyball team going to nationals, I said that was 3 really tough games in 4 days. Probably not the best scheduling by me, but there was nowhere else so that we could fit that game in based on their schedule and our schedule, so we made it happen. And, they got 3 6'10s, a 6'9", a 6'8". They got a big-time shooter on the wing, and their guards are really quick. But our toughness that night defensively was the difference. And then Connell Lowry was just unbelievable. I mean, I think he finished with 28 and shot the cover off of it with supreme confidence, and our guys did a great job of finding him when he was hot. So really proud of that win on the road against, an undefeated Division I team in our region, of which a lot of coaches think is one of the most talented teams in the region.
Yeah, 28 from Connell, 43 from the bench that night. You only committed 9 turnovers in that game,
Right.
Which is great, right? That's what you want.
Yeah, that trend needs to continue. I mean, we've done a much better job taking care of the ball the second semester so far.
So talk a little
Knock
bit
on wood.
about win number 6 in a row. I mean, can you feel that momentum now? You early December things were a little dicey, but now you've got 6 in a row against some really tough competition. Can you feel the shift?
So Vince Lombardi, one of the greatest coaches of all time, said, winning is a habit, but unfortunately so is losing.
Yep.
These guys, am I right, they don't think they're going to lose. You can sense it by their body language, not just by what they say, but how they say it. They expect to win every time they step on the court. So the confidence level is out the roof, and I think with time that's going to continue to grow and grow as the season progresses. So really proud of where we're at, but I want to base our pride on the future.
Yeah, I mean, like you tell me, you're only as good as your next game.
That's right.
Right. All right, Wednesday, we're back on the road again. This time we're now starting to get into second time playing teams in the conference. You take on Central Carolina on the road.
Yeah.
Now, that's a rematch with the Bobcats. They beat us here on our floor early in the season, 77-63. They built that big halftime lead and just never relinquished it. What were some things you felt like you needed to do differently coming out to be on top in this rematch?
So the first game we lost to Central Carolina on this court this season was the first loss on this court in 7 years.
Yeah.
So obviously that didn't sit real well with me or any of these guys to my right or Coach Allen. Central Carolina played harder than us that night, and I took that personal because it's my job to make sure they're ready to play, not just physically but mentally. And so I felt like I did not do a good job keeping these guys humble and ready mentally. So this game, going into this game, I said that's not going to happen again, and we had some tough practices. And I want to say we primarily won that game because of our toughness and grittiness. We did not play well offensively. And like I said earlier, when you're not shooting the ball well, the way you win is your toughness defensively and rebounding and not turning the ball over. So really proud that we gutted out a win against a really, really good Central Carolina team. That's probably the best team they've ever had in the history of their program, in my opinion. But reflecting on that game, offensively, we did have 19 assists and 12 turnovers, so we did take care of the ball for the most part and turn Central Carolina over, I believe, 17 times. So when you do the math on that, we had 12 turnovers, they had 17. That's 5 more possessions we got, and we ended up winning the game by 1 point.
7 in a row, 70-69 nail-biting win. So we keep it going. Going now to Patrick and Henry Community College, a non-conference road game for us. Saturday, the 10th of January. You guys built 41-29 halftime lead, and then you had to fight off a hot-shooting Patriot team. I mean, they had 51 second-half points, and I think they made 11 three-point shots in the second half. Talk about this 8th in a row win.
Well, we certainly didn't play our best that night either. But Patrick Henry is much, much, much exponentially better than their record. And Coach Allen and I knew that going into the game. They got a couple guys back, one from injury, one from eligibility. And like you said, they were ridiculous the second half. I mean, they hit 10 or 11 threes in the second half alone, some of which were contested, some were not. But we overcame, a team that shot 50% from the three and found a way to get a road win.
Well, after the Patrick Henry road win, we go on the road again to Fayetteville Tech, and Coach Brian Hurd, these guys always play you very, very close. I mean, this is always a competitive game. This one, I think they led by 4 at the break, but you guys had a big second-half surge to come away with a road win, 86-78. What were some things you were able to do against Coach Hurd and his team in the second half to get that conference win?
Well, it's no secret Coach Hurd and I are good friends. Mm-hmm. I have tremendous respect for the job he's done there at Fayetteville Tech. His teams are so well prepared. He does a phenomenal job in recruiting. He's really grown that program over the years. We've played him for the district championship before in this gym, actually the COVID year. But, they led the majority of the second half, and we were not shooting the ball well at all. But the last 5 minutes, Jalen Wilkerson and Dre Huff were unbelievable offensively. And during that stretch, I felt like we were fresh. I think we probably went a little bit deeper in our bench than them. And I think us being fresh really helped us late in the game. I've been a big advocate for, I believe John Wooden said it best when he said, the best conditioned team will win in the end. And a lot of these guys in the preseason, they don't like me very much because our practices are brutal physically. And I know down the road, being in incredible shape will pay dividends late in the game. And that night, we primarily won that game. I'm a sole believer. We were fresh physically, and we were able to make some shots because we were not fatigued, and I think maybe that helped us get over the hump.
Well, still staying on the road. Next game, Guilford Tech. Actually, that's almost a home game for us, but it's not. Guilford Tech, a competitive game early, a couple of ties and 10 lead changes, but you had a 13-2 run and were able to pull away. And again, never look back. 101, 64-point win over Guilford Tech. A lot of close games that you've had in those road games, 5 road games that you've had in 11 days. How did the 37-point win feel for you?
Well, it was the first of several games where we were able to play a lot of guys. We had, I believe, 9 turnovers that game. We forced Guilford Tech into 19, so that's 10 more possessions we got where they didn't get a shot. And then here's the stat that I love. We had 51 rebounds against Guilford Tech, and Guilford Tech had 29. So that's almost a 22 difference there in rebounding. And then Nigel was ridiculous. He didn't miss a shot in the first half. He was 8 of 8 from the field. The first half finished with 11 of 14, which is obviously an incredible percentage. And they weren't all layups. He loves that mid-range. He had 25 points, 11 rebounds. So obviously Nigel was really efficient offensively.
Well, we're getting close to getting caught up. This past Sunday, we were on the road again, another conference matchup, Pitt Community College. A win would be our 11th straight. It'd move us into 3rd place in the conference, continuing to climb that ladder, a half a game behind 2nd place Cleveland. Community College would be 2.5 behind Forsyth Tech. We did win, 89-65 win. Give us your thoughts on that game.
I thought we did a good job understanding our strengths, even though our opponent was playing zone the entire game. We still want to think layups and threes, regardless if our opponent's playing man or zone. And Tavion finished with 20 and Nigel 18. And KT Tatum had 9 assists and no turnovers. I love that stat. He's making people better, which is, in my opinion, the best compliment I can give any player is they make their teammates better. And KT certainly did that against Pitt. But Tavion 20 and 10, Nigel 18. You know, we want to think that way, layups and threes in that order.
Yeah, the stat that did catch my eye was that one that you mentioned about KT with the 9 assists and no turnovers. And I think he had 8 assists, maybe a couple turnovers last night. Talk about how KT has continued to improve this year and what his leadership means to the success of your team.
Well, KT's not perfect, but he understands something at a high level that I wish I could get all my players to understand, and that's don't let what you can't do well interfere with what you can do well. He generally doesn't take terrible shots. He doesn't force a lot, even though last night he had a few turnovers. But, you know, he's a true point guard that tries to do a good job being collectively responsible of running the show and not always being the show. He gets guys involved, gets them in the right place. He's a coach on the floor, an extension of me. He's a great leader. He's been a great leader for 3 years. I almost named him a captain last year as a red shirt, which I've never done. So, obviously, I think a lot of KT Tatum.
Well, last night we took on the Jaguars of Johnston Community College, final road game on this brutal schedule. Team we beat 126-61 back in November. They came in to the game last night. They were 1-13. Your 7th straight road game. With their record and the road game, you guys got to be a little road weary. Any concern you might have overlooked the Jaguars?
I told a friend of mine on campus, he was in the fitness center lifting right before film session 2 days ago. I said, my biggest job is to get these guys to respect Johnston. And I harped on that for a while. The quote of the day was yesterday, respect all, fear none. And I really was proud of how these guys responded to that message. I thought we played, I call it the golf course. In golf, you play the golf course, and at the end of your round, you compare scores. You don't really defend anybody in golf. So I told these guys, play the game the right way, play the golf course. And I thought for the most part we did that last night. Ended up with 7 players in double figures and 2 more with 8, so almost 9 players in double figures. So really proud of our effort. Thought we created a lot of offense off of our defense last night, and it was fun to play everybody double-figure minutes, which is hard to do in 40 minutes, to play 14 guys double-figure minutes.
Those games are always good. So, like you said, 7 players double figures. Adrian Mays, I think, led the team with 19 points last night. And you extend your winning streak to 12 straight games. So just a nice job, Coach, getting us to this point. And we're going to take a break, and we're going to bring up our player interviews tonight. The first one coming up is Evan Ingram, if Evan can come up.
Come on up, Evan.
So Evan's a freshman, 6'3" guard out of Charlotte, Cannon School.
Before I hand him the headset, I want to say Evan plays incredibly hard. He's one of the better defenders, certainly one of the better defender freshmen on the team. But his character and his integrity is something I know his parents should be certainly proud of, and his family. I've enjoyed the heck out of coaching him. He's really coachable and a better person and player, but he did miss some layups last night. But I want to say, after the last missed layup, he got his rebound, and he wanted me to make sure I said this on air. It was an and one, right, Evan? All right, so come on up.
So Evan had 7 points, 11 rebounds last night, but 4.5 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game this season. We continue to see Evan get better and better every game. Second on the team in steals. Evan got 24 steals, getting about 14 minutes a game. We want to thank you for being a player interview tonight.
Yes,
and we're going to talk about your freshman year here with the Storm. So what was it that attracted you to the Davidson-Davie Community College basketball program during your recruiting process?
Right. So coming out of high school at Cannon, my recruitment was kind of limited. I didn't really have a big role my last year, my following up year to my last year in high school. So my last year, I kind of went off. I averaged 20 and 7 a game, like 3 steals. Still, didn't really get the recruitment that I wanted out of it. It took a game outside of Canada School. I played in the All-Star game, and Coach Allen, the former coach who had left last year, came to watch the game, recruited me. I came to some open gyms. It took one run to have Coach Ridge pull me over, and that was it. That was my first offer, and I was glad to accept it.
How do you think how has the year gone for you personally here?
It's gone well, but I'm really proud of my team. We're working hard every single day. We came back, rough start of the year. 12 wins, it was great to see our team come through that. But personally, I just feel like I'm doing okay. I know I could do better. I just feel like I'm a little bit inconsistent right now, but I know it's going to change.
Well, what do you feel like, Evan, what are your strengths and weaknesses as a player, and what do you bring to this team as we go down the stretch and get ready for postseason play?
Right. As Coach said, I just feel like my defense is what I really bring to this team, and my energy on the defensive end. I really frame my game around my defense, and I kind of let that dictate how I'm going to play. I could really work on my offensive skills a little bit better, but I feel like I'm more like a 3-and-D type player. I can really defend a lot of multiple positions, and I feel like I can shoot the 3 a little bit.
We'll talk a little bit about leadership. Is there with these guys sitting to our right or to our front here, Mr. KT working the camera tonight, anybody on this team that you look to now as a leader?
Dane Stewart, got to. That's the defensive. That's Cap right there. That's Cap. I love that man. He's like, I really take after his defense. His energy he brings on the defensive end. Sits 9 and 4 feet all game. I really model my game after him. I really look up to him. I do.
You were talking about playing at Cannon School. I think you were team captain your last year.
Yes,
yeah, that's what I thought. How do you play that role on this year's team down the stretch?
I just feel like just being right now, like me, I'm not really a vocal leader. I need to work on that, but I do lead by example, just by how hard I play. I just feel like if I can be the best version of myself defensively, I feel like my teammates will follow.
Do you have so far in your time here? Do you have a favorite moment or game that you could talk about?
Sand Hills, that was the so-called rival. It didn't feel like a rivalry game because we blew them out by a lot, but I was really proud of our team and how we fought, and we turned them over a lot. Held them to 28 in the first half, and I just feel like I was really proud of my team.
Anytime we beat Sand Hills, it's a great day.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the past month now. You guys, as we've talked about with Coach, you guys are on a 12-game winning streak.
Yes, sir.
What's that been like for you?
I mean, I feel like it starts with practice. Come in here every single day, work hard, work our butt off. All our sprints. Every single drill is hard. It's not a lot talked about behind the scenes, but I feel like every single day, if we come in here and work hard, keep our heads down, work's gonna show.
And we've talked about this tough schedule, the road schedule to start the new year out. I mean, 7 road games. How how tough is it for you as a student athlete to balance that being away from here, but then you've got to still do your student stuff as well?
I feel like just managing my time well. I feel like that's the biggest key. Not procrastinating, which is something I used to struggle with, but now I got a lot better with. Just doing my work as soon as I get it, and not waiting till the last minute, because we've been, and some of the road games have been during the break, which kind of gave me a little bit more time. But as soon as school started, I made sure I was on my stuff, because I already knew we were gonna have a lot of road games. So just getting my work done as soon as it was assigned, and not waiting till the last minute. So when I get back, because we always get back 11, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and by that time I really want to go to bed, take a shower, go to bed. So just making schoolwork my priority when I get it, I feel like it's really helped me.
If you look around the Brinkley gym, and even here, the trophy case over here, but you look at all the banners that hang in this gym, there's been some great seasons, some great moments here. Earlier this year, you were part of a 95-78 win against the Bobcats of Bryan and Stratton, and this was historic for this program. It was the program and Coach Ridge's 500th win. How special was it to be part of that Storm history?
It was very special. I feel like coming off of those 2 losses at home, and then coming into Bryan Stratton and winning like how we did, it was a great team effort. I feel I was really proud of my team.
So what do you think some things this team needs to continue to work on as you work down toward postseason?
One thing I think we have to stress is putting 40 full minutes together. That's something we kind of struggled with in the past, but these last couple of games we've played a lot better. Put 40 minutes together, like this last game that we had against Johnston. That was one of our best games, one of our better games, putting 44 minutes together. I feel like if we do that, keep our heads down, keep working, staying in the gym, we're going to be straight. We're going to be good.
What does a typical practice look like for you guys? How tough are these practices?
It's tough. We start off with some shooting, stuff like that, get some conditioning in, and then that's when the drills start. The competitiveness, everything, every day is really competitive in our practices. And I feel like that carries into our games.
Do you get 1,000 shots in a day?
I try to. Yes,
okay,
sir.
good,
Yes, sir.
good. All right, last question for you, Evan. Goals that you set for yourself this season.
Yes, sir.
What are some of those?
I want to be able to be a core piece in our team winning the championship. I know it's every team's goal, but I see it with this team, especially these last couple of games. I feel like we have a chance to really be special, especially making a deep tournament run. I just feel like, and personally, what I could do, I feel like I could be more vocal to help my team, and then step it up a little bit more in the defensive end.
Well, you guys are special, so
Yes,
I appreciate you spending
Yes,
time with us. Evan
you.
Ingram,
Yes, sir.
Great job. Oh yeah, we do have a question for this is from Tim Gwillem. So great to see Evan here. Plays very hard every night. So the question for him: what's been the biggest adjustment moving from high school ball at Cannon to Storm basketball?
I think the biggest adjustment was, just being able to have the ball in my hands all the time in high school. The ball was constant in my hands, to make plays for myself and other teams, to my teammates. I feel like the biggest part, I already knew coming into this college environment that I wasn't going to be the best player, and that I would have tons of other good guys, like the Danes, the Jay Wilkes, the Nigels, the Tavions, and I would kind of be like kind of a glue guy to, bring everybody together. I just feel like me already having that mindset coming in really helped me a lot, and I was able to fit in well with the team.
Well, thank you, Tim, for the question, and thank you again.
Yes, sir. Appreciate
Continue.
you.
Work
Yes, sir.
hard, smart, and
will.
together, as Coach Ridge says, and you guys are special. All right, Tavion Tangoria, let's bring Tavion up. Tavion's a 6'7" freshman forward out of Swansboro, North Carolina, Swansboro High School. And Tay's averaging 11.9 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, and is also, as Evan appeared in all the Storm contests so far last night, you had a double-double, I believe, 12 points, 10 rebounds in the Storm win. Welcome to the program. Now, you played high school ball at Swansboro.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little research. You were one of the area's best high school players your senior year. I think you averaged 18 points a game, 8.6 rebounds, pretty impressive stats. Your team, the Pirates, finished 25-2, went to the 3A East Regional final in Winston. And you were also selected along with your teammate Jermaine Cunningham to participate in that East-West All-Star game. In that game, against some really good talent, you had 11 points, 12 rebounds in a win. What was that All-Star experience like for you, Tavion?
It was pretty fun playing against people were on my team and people I was playing against I've been playing against since I've been in high school. It was just fun competing with some of the best players in the state.
So, and as I mentioned, you made it to that East Regional Final for Swansboro your senior year. Came up just a little bit short of going to the finals to play for a championship. What was that playoff run like for you?
It was really fun. We were first seed, so all the playoff games were home till the 5th round, and just seeing our gym packed out every night was pretty fun.
Now, I imagine you probably are playing a little. You were probably playing a different position in high school than you are now. That's been a little bit of an adjustment for you, hasn't it?
Yeah.
How does it feel to be in a Storm uniform?
It's nice. I'm glad I came here. Yeah.
What was that recruiting process like for you? How did you choose to come here?
I had a conversation with Coach Ridge. I went in there, seen all the banners, all the wins. He said I could be a big part of the team's success this year. So my decision was pretty easy.
You know, there's going to be more banners to hang here, so there's still room for more banners. There's a lot of them in there. How has that transition from high school ball to college ball been for you?
It's been pretty smooth. The beginning was pretty rough. I had to get in a lot better shape than I was, but since the beginning, it's been pretty smooth.
I'll ask you a little bit the same kind of question I asked Evan. How difficult is it for you, Tavion, as a college student athlete, to put all of the time and work that's required to be a great basketball player and still find time to make sure you're being a great student?
It's just putting time for school, like making time for school. We have study hours. I had 2 hours a week. So you could get that done pretty easy. The class ain't too hard.
So what does a day in the life of Tavion look like here?
Wake up at like 7:30, go to school, get back at like 12. Then we got practice at like 3 to 5. Get some shots up after practice. Then we go home, eat, go to sleep. That's about it.
How many shots a day do you get in?
Probably like 1,500.
Okay, there you go. I like that. Now, I like that. What's a typical practice look like for us playing? Tell us a little bit about what it's like playing for Coach Allen and Coach Ridge here.
They're going to try to get the most out of you every practice, so it can be difficult. But recently it hasn't been too bad just because of all the games we've been having. But it's pretty intense.
Where do you think you need to improve right now as a player here?
I got to do better scoring, be more aggressive when I'm scoring, and just flying in there, grabbing rebounds, old boys.
Now, let's take you back a little bit. So early December, we talked about it with Coach Ridge. You guys were 3-4, 2-3 in conference play. Now you're at 15-4. You're 9-3 in conference play. In your opinion, what have been the differences in that turnaround?
I think practices have been more competitive, and what you do at practice, you're going to do in the games. We also got Dre. He's eligible this semester, so he's been making it a lot easier.
So Julia Tangoria says, welcome, Tay. Can't wait to hear from you. So that's got some fans out there. Azia Milford, woohoo, good to see you, Tay. And then Tim Gwillem. Again, Tavion's been a great addition to the Storm. Keep working hard. What's been your most memorable game here so far?
Probably Lewisburg.
Yeah.
Last play, we were down 1. Jay will pass me the ball. I got a layup. We won the game. Then we got to stop after that, so that felt pretty good.
So being the new guy on the team this year, is there anyone, and I ask you the same question I asked Evan, anyone that's standing out to you or you look to as a mentor or leader on this team?
Probably Dane. He's gonna
Dane, that's 2 votes for you, man.
He's going to try to get the most out of you at practices and the games, just like the coaches. So
what can you do to help lead this team as we move forward?
Probably being more vocal. Also just playing hard. all the time.
Any personal goals you got for this season?
Win national championship.
All right, so that was going to be my final question for you. What do we need to do in order to reach that ultimate goal of winning a national championship?
Just getting better every day, mentally and physically. Not playing around when I practice. Not taking nothing slight. Yeah.
You guys are on a roll. Keep working hard. Congratulations. Nice job, Tavion. Good luck for the remainder of the season. Thanks to both Tavion and Evan for being our player interviews tonight. All right, so now we're going to bring back Coach Ridge up to the mic. Coach, we've turned the corner, midway point of the season. Assessment so far. Were we executing well? Where do we need to keep getting better?
Well, like I said earlier, we're proud of what we've accomplished, but we're putting our total pride on the future, and that means every single day focusing on the root so you can enjoy the fruit, right? You got to focus on the process of getting better at every detail of this game, or if you're not practicing, not just during practice but outside of practice, the 1,000 shots a day, the weight room, etc. When you meet somebody who is practicing, they're going to either beat you, take your jersey, take your minutes, or scholarships. So I'm huge into preparation, and I know I've been doing this long enough to know if you're not getting better, somewhere somebody is, and when you meet them, it's not going to be good. So we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep getting better, and hopefully we'll play our best basketball in February, March.
Well, I'm telling you, I've got the first part of March, the first week of March, marked out on my schedule, and that's for the Region 10, the district tourney. Yeah. That is going to be so much fun because this league this year is pretty much top to bottom, pretty phenomenal. I mean, it's gotten better every year I've watched you guys, and this year I think the parity is just I think everybody's close. Give us a quick trip around the conference and where things stand right now.
So for Tech, lost last night at Bryant Stratton, so now they have 2 losses, and then you got 3 teams, us being one of the 3, sitting there with 3 losses right behind them. Cleveland, Davidson-Davie, and Bryant Stratton are breathing down for Tech's, neck, so to speak, and then right behind them you got a gauntlet of really good teams in Central Carolina, Fayetteville Tech, Lewisburg, Catawba. I mean, like you said, the parity is unbelievable this year in our league. So that tournament's going to be something to watch with a lot of talent, a lot of guys that'll go on to play at the 4-year level. So, that's when you want to peak in the regional district tournament and, of course, in Danville, Illinois.
I mean, talking about the parity of Cleveland, they're right there with you guys at 10-3 in the conference. You guys are 9-3, but I mean they escaped last night with a win over GTCC by 4 points, and GTCC has won 2 conference games, so it's going to be a great tourney.
Yep.
All right, we're going to look at what's next for Davidson-Davie basketball. Finally, a home game. Tomorrow night,
Yep.
Southwest Virginia Community College game that was moved. So it's tomorrow night at 6 right here at Brinkley. They're 5-10, 2-10 in conference. We beat them 89-73 back early December, really to start the winning streak.
Yep.
What do we need to do tomorrow night to keep it going?
Well, first of all, I hope and pray that our players, parents, and family members in our community will really come out and pack Brinkley Gym tomorrow night. We haven't played at home, it feels like, in forever, since the Classic, I guess. So it should be a fun game to be a part of for our fans. Both teams want to play fast. Southwest Virginia cranks up a lot of threes, so we're going to have to defend the three-point line. We should attack the boards. I do think we've got an advantage there on the boards tomorrow night. And, we want to get out and transition and base our pride on what we do defensively.
So you got four straight games on our home floor. I think after tomorrow night's game, you got Fayetteville Tech Wednesday, then Pitt comes in on Saturday, and then you've got a game the 2nd of February against GTCC here, Guilford Tech. 8 of our last 10 conference games are going to be right here on the floor. That feels pretty good, doesn't it?
It does. But at the end of the day, you got to play no matter if it's home or away. So,
all right, let's talk about family. We got family over here tonight to our left. Let's talk about Storm family. You got a large number of former players playing at the 4-year level and in the pros. Take us through the list of where those guys are right now, if you can.
So you got Zy Dawkins playing professionally. You got Kyle Ridley still playing professionally. Aaron Ross playing professionally. Keith Reese playing professionally. And just recently, last week, DJ Suggs is playing for the Raleigh Firebirds. And then you got a gauntlet of guys playing at the 4-year level. Jaheim Taylor killing it at Mars Hill, averaging 12.5 points. a game. Ethan English at Winston State. Lamonte was redshirting at Winston before his knee surgery. Mike Wade at Montreat along with Aiden Taylor, so 2 former Storm players at Montreat. Aiden is killing it. Just scored his 1,000th point in college last week. Trey Fields is having a phenomenal year at Barton, averaging 13.5 and 8 rebounds. Najee right up the road with Will Gray, both former Storm players at Greensboro College, along with Coach Dumas. But Najee averaging 14 and 6 rebounds, and Will averaging 13 and 6 rebounds. So those 2 guys are a huge part of Greensboro College basketball. Chase Mebane at Lenore Ryan redshirting. So you got a ton of guys at a lot of 4 years playing, and then you got those 4 guys and DJ playing professionally, making money, using this game to put money in their pockets.
It was good to see DJ signing with the Raleigh Firebirds. DJ, if you're listening tonight, send me some swag. I need some Firebird swag. I love DJ Suggs. All right, so before we finish up the show tonight, I do have another question coming in. So Julia Tangoria says, great effort, proud of you guys. Chanel Tangoria, good job, boys. Tim Gwillem got one more question for you, Tay. I got a question. This is Tim. Rumor has it Coach Ridge came into the locker room after the Henry Ford game dancing. Can Coach Ridge dance? That's the question. No? There's a couple of head shakes, yes, and a couple of no.
So Tavion's telling the truth. The answer is absolutely no. But I have no shame, and I don't mind celebrating with the guys after a big win. So, it is what it is.
All right, before we finish up tonight, a really good
That's the
show.
break.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention for Storm fans? The program have any specific needs? How can folks get involved?
So, we always at our level are looking for donors and sponsors. Most people, some of our community know, but a lot of people don't know at the community college level in this state, we cannot use state funds for athletics. And there are tons of expenses a lot of people don't even think about. Like our insurance every year is crazy expensive for the athletes. I could go on and on and on. Hotels, meals, referees it's just unbelievable what it costs to run an efficient college basketball program and volleyball program. And with our success in volleyball this year going to nationals, obviously that wasn't cheap. So the budget is something as an athletic director I have to watch closely to stay in the budget. So a big part of my job as athletic director is raising funds. So if there's anyone out there that wants to help with team meals, gear, hotels, whatever, we would certainly appreciate that. We do have some local businesses that are a huge part of what we do and how we do it. We could not do what we do and how we do it, especially digital scoreboard, digital scores table, staying at nice hotels, on and on and on, without the support of some of our, not just our local businesses, but individuals. Manuel Teague over here to our left and his wife every year writes a check. It's a lot of individuals, not just companies that give money and time and love to these guys over here every year. So I certainly appreciate that. And one of the things I'm most proud of is we are a family here at Davidson-Davie, and there's so many people inside our inner circle like the Teagues. And I could go on and on and on. Evan's family's here tonight. They haven't missed a game, I don't think. And, we've been on the road driving all over the place. So they've jumped right in and been a big part of this Storm basketball family.
Well, we want to thank you, Coach, and everyone for joining us tonight. As always, thanks for a player interview. So, Evan and Tavion, thank you guys. You did a great job. And thanks to our listeners who are out there tonight. We had some good feedback. Next game's tomorrow night at home right here. Brinkley be here at 6 o'clock, Southwest Virginia. Coming to town. Let's make it 13 in a row. And our next coaches show, February 12th at 7 p.m. right here in Brinkley Gym. We look forward to catching up with you again then. So we want to thank you all for joining us tonight.
Last thing I want to say is there's so many people, like I said, like you, like Patrick, and on, that spend countless hours behind the scenes. The amount of time and prep you do for this show or game day is unbelievable for us to have you. So I want to thank you publicly for all that you do behind the scenes because, there's a lot of people that listen. We don't take you for granted, Miles, so thank you for what you do.
I enjoy it. It's my pleasure. Thank you for that. And, again, thank you, Patrick, for the engineering tonight. KT Tatum, of course, sitting behind the camera. Appreciate that. And thank you for joining us. So as we always say, have a pleasant night and
Go Storm.
Go Storm.
All right.